Well, that is right, my friends. You read that right. The first wave of the equipment rebalance has finally hit, I think yesterday or the day before, as of the recording of this video. So about a month ago, Jagex announced that they were going to start working on the actual parts of the equipment rebalance and sending them out in waves. So yeah, kind of like I was saying, they are now planning on doing this step by step instead of all at once. So they are splitting all the equipment rebalancing as a whole, the whole project, into 4 separate releases, which is going to allow each aspect of the project a bit more time to kind of, be accepted by the community and allow, us to communicate with Jagex, tell us what we hate, probably all of it, considering the feedback about it before. But anyway, all of their proposed changes, for the most part, the first one coming like this immediate first release, most of these changes were well received, so it's not going to be anything, a huge upset after this first round, which was released, like I said, just a couple days ago. But for the most part, it's going to be rebalancing of the plate armor, spears, maces, a lot of free-to-play equipment, Basilisk Knights losing their special attack. We'll get into more of that later. They did also talk more about how the range meta is going to be affected, obviously with the release coming very soon of the nerf of the blowpipe. That is a big blog. I might make a separate video on that because that's a lot of information talking about how they can fix the current range meta. The third slot, or the third wave of equipment rebalancing, is going to be more PvP changes, like so Dragonhide. That's a big one, I know. I see that on Twitter all the time. Bless Dragonhide, 1 defense. Yeah, I know. And then an additional change to Din's Bulwark. Okay. And then finally they're going to try to add in tiers, so like, RuneScape 3 has like tier 75 weapons, tier 80 weapons, tier 85 weapons, because that's what Jagex is wanting to do with all this in the first place, is to, fill in the gaps instead of having just one dominant weapon. So let's talk a little bit more about the changes that were released yesterday, the first wave of the equipment rebalancing. Okay, so kind of like I was saying, the first round of the equipment rebalance was mostly things that were generally well received. The first changes are fairly small and, like I said, mostly welcomed by the community. So a lot of this was free-to-play stuff, filling in some gaps that, will make there seem to be a little bit more free-to-play content. Jagex really likes to cater towards that nowadays. So like, for example, medium helmets, their range attack stats have increased from -1 to 0 to try to encourage the use of, well, everything besides full helmets, because full helmets normally were always the meta. That was always the superior helmet. So now their range attack stats have been reduced from -2 to -3. So it includes all of the, standard helmets that we all know and love in free-to-play, ranging from, bronze all the way to rune. Plate legs and plate skirts have been had a range attack decrease from -7 to 11. Again, a lot of this stuff is pretty not substantial. The opposite. Oh, I'm fishing in the wrong spot. Hold on. Okay, so plate bodies, range attack stats have also been increased. It's just to kind of flow, or, to change, for example, okay, square shields, range attack stats have been increased, kite shields have been reduced. So now more players will want to use a square shield because, again, the meta has always been kite shields are superior, and they pretty much always have been. So now that we've kind of covered some of the more boring stuff, let's kind of get into more of the interesting updates, some of the upgrades that are more beneficial to also non-free-to-play. So spears, their attack rate has been decreased to 4. So wait, now hold on, does that mean they're attack faster or slower? That always has thrown me off, So the speed rate decreased, so now the number's lower. Is it faster? I don't know, dude, I'm way too tired. Warhammers, they now require a strength requirement instead of an attack, so kind of to more cater towards everything being in the 1 attack category, I suppose. So all Warhammers now have a strength requirement. I think that even goes for Dragon. Nope, doesn't say so. If players no longer meet the requirements, it's just going to be unequipped from your inventory, so try not to have a full bank, or it just gets dropped onto the ground. I love that. Mace's attack rate has been decreased from 5 to 4. Okay, so that does mean it attacks faster, because I remember them saying that about the new Golem Bane weapon from the free-to-play quest. What was that called? I made a video about it. I don't remember. Hostas, their attack rate has also been decreased from 5 to 4, so that's going to also benefit. Yeah, it even says the Dragon Hasta, all of those. So non-members and members alike will benefit from that as well. So bonus. There is so much going on right now. I cannot. Normally the fishing guild is never this poppin'. I don't know. I just started recording and everything is going off. Anyway, now let's get into the more interesting, first parts of this equipment rebalancing. So the twisted bow. Your prayer bonus has now been reduced from +4 to 0. That seems pretty substantial. I know the Twisted Bow, I guess, was considered overpowered, but I know it was in-game content, so you think it would be. I mean, it is like, what, 1.2 bill right now? It's still like the most expensive non-cosmetic item, I'm pretty sure. Maybe very closely to the Arcane Shield, I'm not sure. Alright, so next up we have the Dragonstone Gauntlets. Now, I don't actually really even know where you get these or how you do. I think it looks like the Crystal Armor, but maybe it's not from Song of the Elves, I'm not sure. But their range attack has been reduced as well from -2 to -3. So I think they suffered also a little bit. Again, not sure what they are, but they look cool. If I would wear them, you know, if I had them. Then the Dragon Bone and Bone Crusher necklaces have all had huge stat increases from... All attack stats increased from 0 to 10, their defense stats have increased from 0 to 2, and their melee strength bonus has increased from 0 to 2 as well. But they do, and they also now only require 70 prayer to wield instead of 80, so they've just got like all around huge buffs. The Bone Crusher, that one can be pretty useful because you get that from the... What is it, the hard tier of the Mauritania Diaries, and they allow you to, or they automatically bury any bones that you drop. So not only that, but they have these like huge increases to all these stats. So at least they did something that was a buff, I suppose. Not everything, not all is lost. Like they said though, a lot of these earlier, all of these things that have gone in the game so far were all pretty generally well received. So not really a huge surprise that a lot of the outcomes are good. Alright, and then I think one of the last things we have here is the Basilisk Knights. Geez, I can't talk. So their fight has changed. Basically, the way that you actually go up against the Basilisk Knights themselves. They've lost their special attacks. Apparently, the superior versions still retain it, so if you've unlocked that from Slayer, you know what? Screw you. But the attacks can also no longer be fully broken by auto-retaliating with ranged. I don't know what that means because I've never only fought but a couple. I haven't actually got the jaw. But I do think they're also adding changes to the jaw, the Basilisk jaw that it drops, or, you know, to the actual item itself that it creates with the Elm of Netzanot. I think it might be getting a debuff. Maybe not. Maybe it's easier to obtain. I don't know. We'll find out in the second wave. Like I said, and like this post says right here, this is only the first wave of the equipment rebalancing changes. So not all of it has gone through yet. We're not even maybe a quarter of the way through all of the changes yet. So these are just some of the earlier ones that mostly were well received. And I think a lot of them will probably be because they were just basically all positive changes and fills in some gaps for free-to-play content and allows more to be added in, which has always been Jagex's like main goal with these rebalancing changes, is because they're trying to avoid power creep, which they have stated again and again is a very obvious problem, especially with things like the toxic blowpipe. That is probably going to be in the next wave, so be prepared. If you're still using a toxic blowpipe, I would make sure that you are, you know, have done everything you need to do, get the better darts, because it's coming very soon. They are talking about, they have another blog that I might make a separate video on, just generally tailored towards the the fishing meta. It's because I'm fishing right now, I'm sorry. The ranged meta, because with the rotation of the blowpipe being, you know, sent down the tier list, they're going to have more room to add in other types of weapons and gear to fill in the gaps between whatever is below the blowpipe now and where the blowpipe will end up. Because it's going to obviously be more related towards the... Oh, my bank pen, are you kidding me? Anyway, sorry, I think I'm just rambling at this point. Like I said, a lot of these changes that have passed through this first part were pretty much all going to happen. All of these are unpolled. They're all going to happen no matter what. But Jagex is just kind of releasing them in these waves now instead of all at once to not only overwhelm us, but to also allow us the chance to accept them and, you know, realize that they're going to happen no matter what. Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode. A couple other changes happened in this update as well, like some updates to the fishing trawler minigame. Nothing substantial, but like they changed the game mechanics a little bit, kind of allowed you to, it's not necessarily more AFK based, you actually have to contribute a little bit, similar to kind of like Wintertot. Like a Kraken tentacle comes at you now, and you have to like fight it off. It's not much different, but there's a couple of differences. There's no new new rewards, but the games are faster, which is awesome. Instead of a 10-minute game, they're now only 5 minutes, which is crazy. Although the chances to get part of the fishing trawler outfit, I'm wearing it right now, the angler, geez, thank you, is it's a lower chance now. So instead of a 1 out of 8 rate, it is only 1 out of 12 rate. Actually, you know what? I have the notes up right here. Let's just take a quick look at it. It's right here. So this is the Kraken tentacle that will now come down and swipe at you, and you have a contribution meter instead of just, you know, like a filling the water meter. So there's a couple of different activities. You get slightly more XP doing these things, so like you'll get some construction XP or crafting XP depending on what activity you're doing. And if you are at full contribution, you'll find 50% more fish in your net. And you'll also get 50% more fishing XP each time. So, since the missions take half the time to complete, you'll get twice as many chances to also obtain the heron pet. So, but you have to, the more you contribute, the better your odds will be. So some of the drop rates, just in general, have changed with things. So, it sounds like fishing trawler isn't going to be the worst thing in the world now. I had been asking for fishing trawler updates for a long time, just because it's just the worst content in the game, next to maybe Maze Training Arena. So, I'm glad to see them going in this direction. What do you guys think about all these updates coming out? The game is changing before our eyes with these equipment rebalance things. Things are going to be different for sure. A lot of people are going to be upset. When are we going to get a PvP update? Nobody cares. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye!